he ate the earthen pot. So he was a really, Madhavendra Puri, understand, he was the spiritual master of Advaita Acharya. So he was a very, very great devotee. And he was also, of course, the guru of Ishwara Puri. Just a couple of days ago we celebrated the disappearance of Sripad Ishwara Puri. So Ishwara Puri was the servant of Madhavendra Puri. But often Madhavendra Puri, he didn't have any servant. He would go to Govardhan, and he would stay on the side of Govardhan, and he would fast. He had the vow that if nobody gave him food, he would not eat. So Madhavendra Puri would not eat unless someone gave him food. And so then he was there at Govardhan, and some days he would be fasting, and some days Krishna would come and give him food. Krishna would come in the form of a cowherd boy and say that my mother sent me to give you this prasada. And my mother said, nobody is allowed, this is very poor, the interference. I think so.
Use this method, they don't hear it so well. If you can,
I'll just speak.
yeah, that will be easy.
Okay, I'll speak. I have a loud voice by the grace of Krishna. So Madhavendra Puri was a very great devotee. He was living there at Govardhan, and Krishna would sometimes come and bring him prasadam, and he could eat. And then he had a dream, and he found the deity on Govardhan Hill. He uncovered the deity in Govardhan Hill. That deity is worshipped today in Nathdwara. That deity is Srinathji. Madhavendra Puri was the person who found this deity, and he began the worship there on Govardhan Hill. So Madhavendra Puri, he came here to this place Rimuna, and it was here that Gopinath stole the sweet rice to give to Madhavendra Puri. Maybe one of you are a great devotee. Maybe Gopinath will steal another pot of sweet rice to give to one of you. Right? If you're a great devotee tonight, right? We'll have to see if the pujari has a dream or not. Anyway, Madhavendra Puri came here. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came here after taking sannyas. He came here with the devotees on their way to Puri, and they stopped here at Rimuna, and they sat in front of the deity of Khirachora Gopinath, and Lord Chaitanya heard Lord Nityananda describe the pastime of the deity stealing the sweet rice. Lord Nityananda knew, because Lord Nityananda had been here before. As a young man, Lord Nityananda had been traveling everywhere with a sannyasi, and he had visited all the holy places. So he told the devotees, and he told also Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about this wonderful event which took place here. And that's when the deity was named, became not just Gopinath, but Khirachora Gopinath, the deity who stole the sweet rice. So Madhavendra Puri, he came here, and his samadhi is here. And it is said, when Madhavendra Puri was leaving the world, he was being served by Ishwara Puri. Ishwara Puri was his disciple. Ishwara Puri was also sannyasi, and he was serving his Guru Maharaj. and he was taking care of him. Madhavendra Puri's body was, he was leaving the body, so the bodily condition, physical condition was not good. But Ishwara Puri would take care of him, and he would remind him about Lord Krishna. He would help to remind him by chanting the glories and by speaking some slokas and so on. And it is said that when Madhavendra Puri was leaving the world, he was regularly reciting a verse, a very famous verse. It said this verse is only understood by three people: Srimati Radharani, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Madhavendra Puri. They're the only three people who can actually understand the full meaning of that sloka. Dina Dayadra Nata He Mathura Nata Nalakalokshase. Like this, Madhavendra Puri was uttering this verse again and again. And it said this verse was recited by Srimati Radharani. And Srimati Radharani is praying in the mood of separation from Krishna. And she's praying to Krishna, "Where are you now, O Master of Mathura? Because of my not seeing you, my most agitated heart has become disturbed." So this verse is about feeling the separation, the vipralamba from Lord Krishna. It is said Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took initiation in this sampradaya because of Madhavendra Puri. Madhavendra Puri was the one who introduced in this line, in our what we call Brahma, Madhava, Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. So Madhavendra Puri, he was the one who introduced that mode of Vipralamba Seva, separation, in the mood of separation from Krishna. And Lord Chaitanya appreciated that so much. That is why he chose this Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya to take his initiation. And he so much appreciated Madhavendra Puri. Lord Nityananda was describing this pastime to Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became ecstatic himself, and he clapped and rolled in the dirt. And he was calling out, "Ay Dina, ay Dina, ay Dina," like that. He was calling out, repeating the words which had been uttered by Srimati Radharani. So this is all described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Madhavendra Puri's Samadhi is here, because I don't know if he actually left the body here, but he has a Samadhi here. Anyway, just like Prabhupada left the body in Vrindavan, but we have Pushpa Samadhi in Mayapur. So I don't know if it's actual Samadhi or Pushpa Samadhi. We'll find out. We can ask if we can find a reliable source. Sometimes you don't know who to believe. Just like when you're coming here, you ask the way, you have to ask 3 or 4 people, before you find out which is the actual way. India is like that, Ask 10 people. I know China's like that too. Ask 10 people before you know the way. So Madhavendra Puri's Samadhi is here, and also this is the birthplace of a very important Vaishnava Acharya, Baladeva Vidyabhusan. So Baladeva Vidyabhusan, he was actually initiated initially in the Madhva Sampradaya. Madhva Sampradaya. So we're a little different from, our line is Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. So Baladeva Vidyabhusan, he was coming from the Madhva Sampradaya. Now Lord Chaitanya, when he was traveling around India, he went to Udupi, which is the place of Madhvacharya, where Madhvacharya's Udupi Krishna is there. The famous deity which was found by Madhvacharya is established in Udupi. And there are, how many temples? 7 or 9? And how many? A number of temples are there. And each temple will take turns to do the seva for the deity. So one year it will be one temple, and then the other temples, they all go out for preaching. And that one temple, they're doing the puja. And actually they do the puja now, they do it for 2 years. So every 2 years they change. That's in Udupi. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Udupi, and he talked with the devotees there, and he saw that they have a lot of leaning towards fruitive activity as well as impersonalism. Just last year I had the opportunity to go to Bangalore, and in Bangalore they have a big Madhva temple. There's quite a few people follow Madhva there, and I went to the Madhva temple and I could see what they're doing. So many rituals, many karmakandi rituals. They do a lot of these things. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had gone to Udupi 500 years ago or more, and he's spoken there with them, and he concluded also that within their sampradaya there's some tendency towards fruitive activities and also sometimes even impersonalism. So Mahaprabhu, he has not just Madhva, but Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. You see? So he took initiation in that line because of Madhavendra Puri. Because Madhavendra Puri was teaching this, the mood of the gopis. The mood of the gopis is service in separation. Vipralamba Seva. So Baladeva Vidyabhusan, he came after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was born here in this Ramuna, in this village, and he was initiated in the Madhva line. But then he heard about Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and he went to Vrindavan, and he associated there with Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he has written many commentaries, he's written many books. Maybe you've read some of his books, Madhurya Kadambini and things like that, and many commentaries on Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. And Prabhupada will often quote that Vishwanath Chakravarti says, and Prabhupada will quote his commentary in his purports. So Baladeva Vidyabhusan, he went there and he associated with Vishwanath Chakravarti, and Vishwanath Chakravarti taught him all the purports to the scriptures. He taught him the Siddhanta of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. And Baladeva Vidyabhusan was greatly impressed. So it happened at that time that a challenge came from Jaipur, because the deities, remember Jaipur had been under threat for some time because of Aurangzeb, and they had moved the deities there to Jaipur, like Radha Govinda, Radha Damodar, Radha Gopinath. They're still there in Jaipur. So the Ramanandis, they were associating with the king, the Maharaj of Jaipur. Nowadays you don't have that. The government took everything away from all those people. Anyway, in that time the Maharaj of Jaipur was very powerful, and he was overseeing the worship of the deity of Radha Govinda. So these Ramanandis were saying that they were telling the king that these people, these followers of Mahaprabhu, the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, he said, they are not bona fide. He said, they are apa sampradaya. They're bogus. They're not really qualified. They shouldn't be worshipping the deity. And so they influenced the mind of the king of Jaipur. So the king of Jaipur was puzzled, you know, so he wrote a letter to Vrindavan. And he wrote to the Pandits, the Brahmins there. They said, you know, you have to come and defend yourself. You're being challenged. You have to establish your authority. Prove that you're bona fide. So at that time, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur was in poor health. But Baladeva Vijayabhusan was there. So it was decided Baladeva Vijayabhusan would go there to Jaipur. And he went there to Jaipur and he met with the Ramanandis. And one of the big challenges which was coming from the Ramanandis was, they said, you Gaudiya Vaishnavas are not bona fide. They said, you have no commentary on Vedanta Sutra. So Baladeva Vijayabhusan replied, we have Srila Vyasadev's own commentary on Vedanta Sutra. Srila Vyasadeva wrote the Srimad Bhagavatam. So that is the commentary on Vedanta Sutra. There's no need for any more commentaries. But the Ramanandi said, no, everyone, all the other sampradayas have their own commentary. Even the Sri Vaishnavas, they wrote, Ramanuja wrote a commentary, Nimbarka wrote a commentary, Vishnu Swami wrote a commentary, and they were saying, if you're really bona fide, you have to have a commentary on Vedanta Sutra. So it was a challenge. Baladeva Vijayabhusan, then he went to one place which is just in the outskirts of Jaipur, just on the mountainous place, and he prayed there. And he prayed to the Lord, prayed to Govinda, the deity of Govindaji is there in Jaipur. So he prayed to Govindaji that you please help me to write a commentary. And so Baladeva Vijayabhusan, he sat there and he managed to write a commentary, a wonderful commentary on Vedanta Sutra. And Prabhupada appreciates that commentary so much that Prabhupada dedicates his own Bhagavad Gita. He said that he offers his own Bhagavad Gita to Baladeva Vijayabhusan. Baladeva Vijayabhusan named his commentary Govinda Bhashya, the speaking of Govinda. So this was a very important victory for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, that Baladeva Vijayabhusan defeated the Ramanandis. He showed them their commentary, our commentary on Vedanta Sutra, and he established that we were actually a bona fide sampradaya. And we had the right to worship Govindaji. So that's a very important victory. So it took place, we'll see the birthplace of Baladeva Vijayabhusan. But today is also a very auspicious day. Today, of course, is Shivratri. And when we were coming here, coming all the way from Mayapur, we often saw many people carrying the, what do they call it? Yeah, and they had a couple of pots. They're bringing their milk or water, bringing something to bathe the Shiva Linga. And so sometimes people wonder, oh, we're Gaudiya Vaishnavas, we only worship Radha and Krishna. Do we also celebrate Shivratri? Well, it's mentioned in the 10th canto that Nanda Maharaj, on one occasion, he went to one place. I think it was, what was it called, Ambika? Something, and he went to one place where the Shiva temple was. He went to observe Shivratri. And Prabhupada explains that we Gaudiya Vaishnavas, we can observe Shivratri, but it's not compulsory. It's not like every year we have to observe it. But we may do it. And there's no fasting. We don't usually fast on Shivratri. But we do honor Lord Shiva. We have to understand the position of Lord Shiva. And that is described to us by Lord Brahma in the Brahma Samhita, right? Shri Ram Yata Dadi Vikara Vishesha Yogat Sanjayate Nahitata Pritagaste Heto Yasambutam Apikata Samapaiti Karyad Govinda Madhipursham Hamaham Bhajami. This verse describes the relationship between Govinda and Lord Shiva. Govinda, or the Supreme Lord Vishnu, he is described to be like milk. And Lord Shiva is like dahi, like the yogurt. So, milk can be turned into yogurt. But once you make the yogurt, you cannot turn it back to milk. It stays yogurt. You cannot again bring the yogurt back to milk. So Lord Vishnu, he can become Shiva. But Lord Shiva can never become Lord Vishnu. This is relationship. At the same time, Lord Shiva enjoys very intimate association with Lord Vishnu. And you'll see when we go on parikrama, we go to one holy place called Harihar Kshetra. So Hari is Lord Vishnu and Hara is Lord Shiva. And you'll see the deities combined in one form. Half is Vishnu and half is Shiva. So Lord Shiva's connection with Lord Vishnu is so intimate that the two can become one in the form of the deity, like Harihar. So Lord Shiva is honored also as, we say, Vaishnavam Yata Shambhu, that he's the greatest Vaishnava. So we may wonder, what did he do which is so great? Well, one of the things which he did was he drank the poison when the demigods and the demons were churning the ocean of milk. They were churning to get the nectar of immortality. So at that time, they produced some poison. The whole ocean was covered with some poison. So they requested Lord Shiva to please come. And Lord Shiva came and he drank all the poison. And that was how he became a bluish color. And it's called Nilakanta. From that time on, Lord Shiva got the name Nilakanta, meaning one whose throat is blue. And you can see on his head, he also has a crescent moon. That crescent moon was given to Lord Shiva to keep him cool, because the effect of the poison makes the body very hot. So the crescent moon is there to keep Lord Shiva cool. Of course, Lord Shiva is such a great soul that when Mother Ganga wanted to come to the earth in fulfillment of the desire of Maharaj Bhagirath, Maharaj Bhagirath had been doing tapasya to bring Mother Ganga down from the heavenly planets in order to deliver the sons of Maharaj Sagar. So Mother Ganga said, the problem is if I come, that the force of my water on the planet will inundate the whole planet. And it could knock the whole planet out of orbit. So it was arranged, Maharaj Bhagirath arranged, Lord Shiva would take the Ganga on his head. And he caught the Ganga coming from heaven onto his head, and Mother Ganga flows down from the head of Lord Shiva. So that is another wonderful act of Lord Shiva. Out of his compassion and his desire to deliver the fallen souls, his hair is always wet with the water of the Ganga, because the Ganga is flowing down from the heavenly planets onto his head, and then down through Himalayan mountains. And then Lord Shiva also is very kind to people in the mode of ignorance. People like ghosts and such creatures, evil spirits. Lord Shiva gives mercy to them. He delivers them. And he arranges that they can get a human form. So Lord Shiva is so kind. He's giving so much mercy and compassion to the souls. Lord Shiva also teaches us the glories of the holy name. When Parvati was going to chant the Vishnu Sahasranam, at that time Lord Shiva said to her, Rame Rame Namo Rame, Rame Rame Namo Rame, Sahasranama Bistuyam, Sahasranama Bistuyam, Sri Rama Nama Varanini, Sri Rama Nama Varanini. Lord Shiva is telling Mother Parvati, you don't need to chant 1,000 names of Vishnu. You just chant the one name of Lord Rama. One name of Lord Rama is equal to 1,000 names of Vishnu. That is one of Lord Shiva's instructions. And Lord Shiva also told Mother Parvati, when Mother Parvati got angry because of Chitraketu, those of you who read Sri traveling, and he came around where Lord Shiva was sitting with his wife, and Lord Shiva was sitting in front of an assembly of many sages, and at the same time his wife was sitting on his lap, and he was embracing her. So Chitraketu Maharaj came there, he saw it, and he laughed. He thought it was amusing. But Parvati was quite offended, and she cursed Chitraketu that he should become a demon. And when Chitraketu was cursed, then Chitraketu offered obeisances to Mother Parvati. You know, if we get cursed, we will want to counter-curse. Oh, you curse me, I'll curse you, right? So Chitraketu wasn't like that. Chitraketu thought, oh, thank you, Mother. And he offered obeisances to Mother Parvati and thanked her. And Mother Parvati was surprised. She thought, I thought I'd make him angry by cursing him. But he's not worried. And he offered obeisances to me. And Lord Shiva said, Narayana parasarve nakutasjanya vidyate swarga apavarga narakesh vapitu yata darshana. Lord Shiva is teaching all of us, as well as his good wife, the greatness of those who have taken shelter of the personality of Godhead, Lord Narayan, that they see everyone equally. They see everything equal. Swarga apavarga narakesh. Heaven, liberation, and hell. It vapitu yata darshana. They see it all the same. They don't make distinction between heaven and hell and liberation. So this is Lord Shiva's teaching to his good wife and to all of us. He's reminding us the situation of this material world. So we want to remember with some gratitude the wonderful service which Lord Shiva has. Usually when people worship Lord Shiva, they worship for some material desire. Just like it's described in Srimad Bhagavatam, there was one demon called Vrikasura. And Vrikasura did great tapasya. He was cutting flesh off Shiva. Finally, Lord Shiva appeared. And then Vrikas asked for the benediction from Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva had to come. He knew this person, Vrika, was a foolish person, but still, out of compassion, he wanted to give him a blessing. So he came, and then he asked Vrikasura, so what blessing do you want? And Vrika said, I want the blessing, whosever head I touch, their head will fall off. And then Vrika wanted to touch Lord Shiva's head. That was what happened. He wanted to touch Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva had to run. And he was running and Vrika was chasing him. And finally, the Lord himself, the personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu came, took the form of a Brahmana, and he came to Vrika, and he told Vrika, he said, oh, don't believe Lord Shiva. He's been acting very strangely. I don't believe he gave you that power. No, I don't believe it. It's not possible. You try yourself. Put your hand on your head. You'll see. So Vrika put his hand on his head and boom! His whole head exploded, fell off. So in this way Lord Shiva was saved. So sometimes you give blessings, you know, demigods, devas like that, they will give these kind of blessings. Lord Shiva is also known as Asutosh, one who is easily pleased and also easily angered. So you have to be very careful. Now, most people, I said, they worship Lord Shiva to get material blessings. But if you want to get the real mercy of Lord Shiva, you get that through his sampradaya. You go into his sampradaya and get the mercy through his line, through the Vishnu Swami sampradaya. And they will help you to get the real mercy of Lord Shiva. But most people, they think Lord Shiva is just there to get material blessings. They don't understand the real mercy of Lord Shiva, which is to get love of God. So today is Shivratri. All right, so my time is up for the Gita Reading Society, Singapore. Padmalochan Prabhu, thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, thank you Maharaj.
So maybe we'll take some questions from here. Yeah.
That's why the reason Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took initiation in our Sampradaya. So now, like, we also see that in Chaitanya Sankalila, the height of separation which Mahaprabhu was feeling. So we get a glimpse what is that curriculum have. But in our day-to-day lives, in our devotion service, we are like following devotion service in our devotion principles for so many years, but we don't feel that it is separate. So like, how this we can integrate this practical, this mode of separation in our life, that we can also like have some glimpse of that requirement before we this world.
तो जी का प्रश्न है कि जो विप्रलंब भाव है उसके बारे में आज आपने वर्णन किया। हम देखते हैं चैतन्य महाप्रभु के लीलाओं में भी इसका बहुत प्रधानता है, लेकिन ये नवविधा भक्ति को काफ़ी समय से पालन करने के बाद भी हम लोग के अंदर ऐसा कोई दिखाई नहीं पड़ता दूर दूर तक विप्रलंब भाव। तो कैसे इसको उत्पन्न कर सकते हैं?
Srila Prabhupada explains we have to cultivate that feeling. We should be cultivating that feeling. Where is Krishna? When will he come? We should be thinking in this way. When will I ever be able to be with Krishna? We have to cultivate that feeling, that longing to be with Krishna.
तो महाराज बता रहे कि ये जो विप्रलंब भाव जो आपका प्रश्न है, ये इसको उत्पन्न करने के लिए हमें इसकी चेष्टा करना चाहिए। हमेशा इसका चिंतन करना चाहिए कि कब ऐसा होगा। जब हम श्रवण कीर्तन जब हम जप करते हैं तो उस समय हमें ये सोचना चाहिए कब ऐसा मेरे अंदर भाव आएगा कि मैं कृष्ण से विरह अनुभूति कर रहा हूँ।
So the mood of the gopis, service and separation. The Goswamis of Vrindavan, they cultivated that mood of separation. They performed their devotional service in that way, feeling separation from Krishna. Not thinking, now I see Krishna, I'm with Krishna, but thinking, when will Krishna come?
तो महाराज बता रहे कि ये ही जो इस तरह का मूड है वो ही ब्रज की गोपियों का है। और हम देखते हैं कि वृंदावन के जो छह गोस्वामी हैं उनका भी ऐसा ही चेतना है। ऐसा नहीं सोचना चाहिए कि मैं ऑलरेडी इसको महसूस कर रहा हूँ। तो ये भाव ये होना चाहिए कि कब मैं ऐसा महसूस करूँ। तो तो ये हमारा हमेशा सोच होना चाहिए कब ऐसा मेरे अंदर भाव आए.
After Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took initiation from Ishwara Puri in Gaya, he came back to Mayapur. But before he came back to Mayapur, he had come through Kanai Natsala. And in Kanai Natsala, he had some experience. Krishna had appeared to him.
तो श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु जब गया में श्रीपाद ईश्वरपुरी से दीक्षा लेने के बाद फिर आए थे मायापुर की ओर वापस आए थे, तो उनको रास्ते में फिर ऐसा स्वप्न हुआ, कनारी नटशाला के बारे में उनको स्वप्न हुआ.
So when he was in Mayapur, he was asking, one day he turned to Gadadhar and he asked him, "Where is Krishna? Where is he? When will he come? Where is he?" And Gadadhar said, "He's in your heart." And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, when he heard he's in, he took his nails and he began to claw. "Oh, I want to see him, I want to see him." And he was ripping at his skin, trying to tear his skin apart to find Krishna.
तो श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु जब इसके बाद जब मायापुर में आए तो श्री गदाधर पंडित से पूछने लगे कि कृष्ण कहाँ है, मुझे तो कृष्ण मिल नहीं रहे, कृष्ण कहाँ पे हैं. तो जब गदाधर पंडित ने बोला कि कृष्ण तो आपके हृदय में है, तो चैतन्य महाप्रभु अपने छाती को, अपने नाखूनों से छाती को फाड़ने लगे कि कहाँ पर है कृष्ण, कहाँ, कैसे कृष्ण को खोजने लगा.
And Gadadhar Pandit had to take his hands and hold him and tell him, "Don't worry, Krishna's coming very soon. Don't worry, just wait, just be patient, he's coming."
और जब चैतन्य महाप्रभु ऐसा करने लगे तो गदाधर पंडित को जब उनको संभालना पड़ा और उनको बोला कि नहीं नहीं कृष्ण जल्दी ही आ जाएंगे, आप चिंता मत करो. तो इस तरह से गदाधर पंडित को उनको संभालना पड़ा.
And Mother Sachi was so grateful to Gadadhar Pandit. She thanked him so much. She said, "Thank you for taking care of my son." And she said, "You please always stay with my son. Never, don't let him go away. You always be with him, help him."
तो ये जो घटना है, इससे सची माता जो है वो बहुत प्रसन्न हुई, बहुत आभार व्यक्त किया. उन्होंने गदाधर पंडित के प्रति बहुत आभार प्रकट किया कि आपने मेरे पुत्र का ऐसे रक्षा किया इस स्थिति में. और उन्होंने गदाधर पंडित को प्रार्थना की कि आप हमेशा चैतन्य महाप्रभु यानी मेरे पुत्र के साथ रहें.
We know His Holiness Gaur Govinda Maharaj, who's we're going to see in Bhubaneswar. We'll see the temple which he established there. Gaur Govinda Maharaj used to talk about he wanted to make a school for crying. He wanted to train devotees that they could cry for Krishna.
तो अभी हम लोग भुवनेश्वर जाएंगे कल, तो वहाँ पे हम लोग इस्कॉन के मंदिर में जाएंगे और वहाँ पे हम देखेंगे श्री गौर गोविंद स्वामी महाराज के बारे में सुनेंगे. तो गौर गोविंद स्वामी महाराज ऐसा एक स्कूल खोलना चाहते थे जहाँ पे भक्तों को कृष्ण के लिए रोना सीख पाए, कि भक्त लोग रो पाए कृष्ण के लिए. ऐसा स्कूल वो खोलना चाहते.
Nectar of Devotion also says, like, we have to become so anxious to see Krishna that you can shed tears.
तो जो उपदेशामृता में भी ऐसा वर्णन है कि हमें भगवान को देखने के लिए इतना आतुर होना चाहिए कि भगवान को देखने के लिए इच्छा से हमारी अश्रु प्रवाह होने लगे.
But if we don't care, then if we're casual about it, then we'll never feel that separation.
लेकिन अगर हम इसके बारे में कभी चिंता नहीं करेंगे, हम कहेंगे ठीक है जो चल रहा है ठीक है, तो फिर हम कभी ऐसा विरह अनुभूति नहीं कर पाएंगे.
We have to want Krishna very badly, so much. We have to want Krishna so much that we can shed tears.
तो हमें भगवान को पाने का इतना तीव्र इच्छा होना चाहिए, इतना तीव्र कि हम उनके पाने की इच्छा से हमारे आंखों में आंसू आ जाएंगे.
Okay. Yes. Oh. Yes, brother.
Thank you, Maharaj, for this very lecture and explaining about the diploma. Maharaj, as today's Shivratri, my question is related to Lord Shiva. So, at this present days, in the days of social media, sometimes when we go out for a teaching or we encountered multiple people, humoring about that ISKCON is defaming Lord Shiva and not accepting Krishna as the supreme personality. However, we are giving the examples of the scriptures that in the Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma says this, that Ishvara Parama Krishna, and from the Bhagavatam that Krishna is the Bhagavan Swam is mentioned there. But they are saying that Vedavyasa wrote Shiva Puran and Vedavyasa also written Srimad Bhagavatam. How can you say that Srimad Bhagavatam is better than Srimad Bhagavatam? How can we encounter these questions in real life?
तो प्रभु जी का प्रश्न आज के शिवरात्रि के पर्व से है कि आजकल का जो इंटरनेट का ज़माना है तो वहाँ पे बहुत सारा ऐसा सुनने को मिलता है। लोग बोलते हैं कि इस्कॉन संस्था जो है वो भगवान शिव को जो उनकी स्थिति को अच्छे से नहीं समझते हैं और वो तो इसमें क्या सत्य है। वो हम हालांकि हम उनको समझाने का प्रयास करते हैं, ब्रह्म संहिता इत्यादि से हम उनको समझाते हैं, लेकिन वो हमारे ऊपर उल्टा तर्क करते हैं और बोलते हैं कि वेद व्यास ने भगवान शिव के बारे में भी लिखा है और भागवत के बारे में लिखा है, तो वो भागवत पुरानी क्यों ज़्यादा महत्वपूर्ण है।
So Srila Vyasadeva wrote the Puranas. He wrote books for different people. Some books are for people in the mode of ignorance. Some books are for people in the mode of passion. Some books are for people in the mode of goodness.
हमारे बता रहे कि श्रील व्यासदेव ने कई सारे तरह के ग्रंथों का रचना किया है। इसमें कुछ ग्रंथ ऐसे जो कि तमोगुणी लोगों के लिए है, कुछ जो है रजोगुणी और कुछ सत्वगुणी लोगों के लिए।
And Srimad Bhagavatam also tells us the history of the Srimad Bhagavatam, how Srila Vyasadeva, after writing so many books, he was not satisfied.
तो श्रीमद् भागवतम के अंदर ही हमें श्रीमद् भागवतम के इतिहास के बारे में पता चलता है कि कैसे श्रील व्यासदेव ने सारे ग्रंथों की रचना करने के बाद वो बड़े ही दुखी थे, संतुष्ट नहीं थे।
He wrote 18 Puranas, 6 Puranas for each of the 3 modes.
उन्होंने 18 पुराणों की रचना की, हर एक गुण के हिसाब से, यानी कि सत्वगुण, रजोगुण, तमोगुण तीनों का 6 पुराण उन्होंने लिखे।
And he wrote, of course, Mahabharata, which is very, very voluminous, more than 100,000 verses.
और उन्होंने महाभारत की भी रचना की, जिसमें बहुत ही बड़ा है, जिसमें कि 1 लाख से ज़्यादा श्लोक है।
And then he wrote also Vedanta Sutra.
और उसके बाद उन्होंने वेदांत सूत्र की भी रचना की।
But after writing all of these things, he was not satisfied.
परंतु ये सब लिखने के बाद भी श्रील व्यासदेव संतुष्ट नहीं थे।
He had written about Karma Kand and he'd written about Jnana Kand, but he'd never written anything about Upasana Kand or Bhakti.
तो उन्होंने कर्म कांड और ज्ञान कांड के ऊपर लिखा था, लेकिन उन्होंने कभी भक्ति के ऊपर नहीं लिखा।
He'd hardly touched on it, so that's why Narada Muni told him, he said, the problem is you have neglected to glorify the process of devotion to the Supreme Lord.
तो इसीलिए नारद मुनि ने श्रील व्यासदेव को ऐसा बताया कि आपने ये जो सबसे महत्वपूर्ण भक्ति के ऊपर जो प्रकाश डालना है उसको आपने छोड़ दिया और इस तरह से उनको प्रेरणा दिया।
So that was when Srila Vyasadeva, after taking instruction from Narada Muni, then he wrote Srimad Bhagavatam, which is his mature contribution, his mature realization.
तो इस तरह से फिर जब श्री नारद मुनि से श्रील व्यासदेव को ऐसा निर्देश मिला, उसके उपरांत ये सारे ग्रंथों की रचना करने के बाद एक बहुत ही परिपक्व अवस्था में श्रील व्यासदेव ने श्रीमद् भागवतम की रचना की।
So we explain to them like that.
तो हम उन लोगों को ऐसे समझा सकते हैं।
Or any other question? Yes, Maharaj. Hare Krishna. What? Yes. How is it all the same? Because wherever the devotee goes, he's going to chant Hare Krishna and he's going to engage in Krishna's service. Right? One who is devotee doesn't make any difference where he goes, but his activities will be for Krishna. He'll be chanting and preaching the glories of Krishna and doing devotional service wherever he goes. So it doesn't make any difference whether he's in hell or heaven or he's liberated. Wherever he goes, he'll be doing the same business. The activities are there. Bhakti Yoga.
प्रश्न ये है कि नर्क, स्वर्ग और मुक्ति तीनों को भक्त के लिए एक जैसा बताया गया, क्यों? तो महाराज बता रहे कि इसलिए जैसा बताया गया कि भक्त को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, जहाँ भी जाएगा वो हरे कृष्णा चैंटिंग ही करेगा, जहाँ भी जाएगा वो भगवान की सेवा में लगेगा। इसलिए एक भक्त के लिए कहीं पे भी जाए उसके लिए सब एक ही जैसा है, क्योंकि वो कार्य वही करता है हर जगह।
So hell becomes heaven for a devotee. And heaven is like hell if you're not a devotee.
इसलिए जो स्वर्ग है वो जो नर्क है वो स्वर्ग के समान लगता है भक्त को, और जो भक्ति नहीं है तो स्वर्ग भी जो है नर्क जैसा लगता है।
Yes, okay, go ahead.
Yesterday when we were coming in train, there was lot of smell, and I was feeling like it is like a hell, because somewhere some problem was there in the washrooms and most of the places was very smelly. I was remembering that it is the kind of a hell and we cannot tolerate it. So Maharaj, how can I was going to all because I am talking to Maharaj, and we are talking about we used to chant in the public toilet and he was not okay. So Maharaj, how can there were a lot of opportunities, lot of things were there, but only some people inconvenience caused us. How can we understand?
How do we, well, we have to become a little detached to these situations. You know, because we're so still much in the bodily concept of life, and so we become troubled by these things. But devotees just tolerate these things, be indifferent to them. Sometimes you're given a nice, comfortable place, and sometimes it's hell. But don't be disturbed. You're not staying there forever.
तो प्रश्न ये था कि हम जब रेलगाड़ी में आ रहे थे तो उसका बहुत बदबू आ रहा था वहाँ पे, और कुछ बाथरूम भी इतने साफ नहीं थे। तो अभी आपने जैसे बताया कि भक्त को नर्क भी अच्छा लगता है, लेकिन हमें तो वहाँ पे नर्क जैसा माहौल लग रहा था। और तो और वहाँ पे लेकिन और बहुत सारी अपॉर्चुनिटी थी प्रचार करने की इत्यादि, तो लेकिन तो उसको कैसे, तो महाराज बताया कि हमें और गोपीनाथ बाबा जी का पूछा गया कि वो कैसे टॉयलेट के पास जब करते थे, तो महाराज बता रहे कि हमें थोड़ा डिटैचमेंट का भाव उत्पन्न करना पड़ेगा। अगर हम बहुत ज़्यादा शरीर से आसक्त रहेंगे तो फिर हमेशा हमें यही चिंता रहेगा कि हमें क्या मिल रहा है क्या नहीं। शरीर से थोड़ा निरासक्त रहेंगे तो हमें उतना दिक्कत नहीं होगा, हमें हमेशा वहीं पे रहना नहीं है। तो महाराज जी बताएं।
Okay, any other question? Okay, yes, Mariji?
But it is also said that this body is the vehicle, this is the instrument which will take us to follow Vrindavan. So if we don't take care of this vehicle or this instrument, then I will fall sick or I will fall ill. Then how I will be able to pursue my bhakti forward? So I have to take care of this bodily consciousness also, and I have to progress in spiritual consciousness also. So how to make a balanced adjustment between the two?
तो माता जी का प्रश्न है कि लेकिन हम ये भी सुनते हैं कि जो शरीर का भी हमें ध्यान रखना पड़ता है, क्योंकि शरीर ही वो माध्यम है जिसके द्वारा हम भक्ति कर पाते हैं। तो एक तरफ से हमें शरीर से निरासक्त होने के लिए सुनते हैं और दूसरी तरफ ये भी सुनते हैं कि शरीर का ध्यान रखना है। तो इन दोनों के बीच में कैसे समझ पाएं?
Yes, as we're beginning devotional service, we have to be cautious to balance the two. We don't encourage people to prematurely give up everything, but we encourage you to find a balance. We give the example, train goes on 2 tracks. So if the tracks are not level, train will overturn. So the same way we want to be balanced, our material side and our spiritual side. You have to keep them both in order. You do have to look after the body. Our bodies are not spiritual. We have to take care of it. We have to eat regularly. We have to sleep regularly. We have to control the mind and senses. Right? We don't say, stop everything. You know, we can't imitate very great liberated souls. We can't be like Madhavendra Puri and just wait for people to give us food. So we have to take care of the body. At the same time, we have to also balance our spiritual life. We need to chant. We need to hear about Krishna. Then gradually, as we progress, then you can give up more and more of the things concerned with the body. So that finally you'll see in Srimad Bhagavatam, Maharaj Parikshit had been cursed to die in 7 days. So Sukadeva Goswami was telling him about renunciation. He said, leave home, get out of the house, leave home. And he was telling him even minimize the demands and just depend on nature. If you want to eat, just take some fruit from the tree and drink the water in the river. Oh my goodness. Of course today, how we could do that, of course. But still, this was the recommendation. He was giving the instruction to minimize the demands of the body. Because our tendency is always we want to maximize everything. And we make arrangements for our own comfortable living. So Sukadeva Goswami was warning Maharaj Parikshit that don't be attracted to the comforts. Don't think about going to heaven and enjoying comforts there. But understand that all of those things, the comforts, the luxury, that's all for the body. We want to minimize the body, and we want to practice a more basic living, simple living, and high thinking.
महाराज के उत्तर में बता रहे हैं कि इसीलिए जो प्रारंभिक अवस्था है उसमें हमें हमेशा उम्मीद नहीं करते कि एक तुरंत हम शरीर से एकदम निरासक्त हो जाएंगे। तो प्रारंभिक अवस्था में ये हमें बताया जाता है कि हमें एक बैलेंस बना के चलना है। जैसे कि एक ट्रेन जो है 2 पटरी पे चलती है और अगर एक पटरी नहीं होगा तो वो फिर पलट सकता है। तो इसलिए हमें एक बैलेंस बनाना है। जैसे कि हमें खाने के लिए चाहिए, हमें सोने के लिए चाहिए। महाराज बता रहे कि हम महादेवेंद्र पुरी की तरह नहीं हो सकते कि हम तभी खाएं अगर हमें कोई दे दे खुद से। तो हमें ज़रूरत है इस शरीर की, और हमें ये प्रेरणा दी जाती है कि धीरे धीरे हमें शरीर से आसक्ति कम करनी है और जो भक्ति में हमें आसक्ति और बढ़ाना है। फिर महाराज श्रील परीक्षित महाराज और श्रील सुखदेव गोस्वामी जी के बारे में बता रहे हैं कि कैसे उन्होंने उनको प्रेरणा दिया कि अपने शरीर की ज़रूरतों को कम करना है। उन्होंने उनको बोला कि आप केवल स्वाभाविक फल और नदी का जल पी के रहें। तो महाराज कह रहे वो अभी हमारे लिए संभव नहीं है, लेकिन इस तरह से हमें शरीर का जो सुख है उसको थोड़ा थोड़ा धीरे धीरे करके उसको कम उस पर आसक्ति रखनी।
Okay, so thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Holiness Bhakti Vigna Vinash Narasimha Swami Maharaj ki jai.
Madhavendra ki
Jai.
So we want to thank Maharaj very much from the core of our heart. We are so blessed कि हम जैसे यहाँ पे पहुँचे दिल्ली से रेमुना, महाराज also was so kind. मैं महाराज से पूछ रहा था कि महाराज would like to come to Bhubaneswar. मुझे लग रहा था थोड़ा inconvenient होगा यहाँ से इतना दूर आना, but महाराज immediately agreed. Immediately महाराज said कि I will try to come, and then महाराज took that all the trouble. यहाँ पे महाराज आए तो हम सबके पास बहुत सौभाग्य है ये महाराज से सुनने का। एक्चुअली धाम यात्रा का पर्पस यही है, बाहर हम जाके आंखों से देखेंगे उससे हम धाम को दर्शन नहीं करते, अलग अलग जगह में जाकर देखेंगे। तो हम जो सीरियसली धाम का दर्शन करना चाहते हैं महाराज से सुनेंगे, श्रवण के माध्यम से हम असली दर्शन करेंगे। तो हमें पूरा लाभ उठाना चाहिए। हमारे जीवन का हो सकता है सबसे महत्वपूर्ण ये यात्रा हो, तो है कि नहीं आप लोग? और हमारे यात्रा के भी कई सारे भक्त हैं, उनको भी हम धन्यवाद देना चाहते हैं। तो एक बार हम महाराज के लिए पूरे उत्साह से हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र बोलते हैं, धन्यवाद देते हुए हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। तो निष्पत्ति विघ्न विनाश नरसिम्हा स्वामी महाराज की जय। और हमारे बीच
நிறைய பேர் தான் வந்திருக்கு. ம். சரி, கட்சிக்கு போங்க.